So one of the biggest branches within chemistry, and one of the most enjoyable, is calculations. The technical term for that kind of thing, that topic, is stoichiometry, but it's a really nice way of problem solving. And it all centers around moles. Here we go, moles. Now, first things first, you need to know the formula for calculating moles. We're not going to give it to you. And we recommend, and this is more so for students who, I make year 10 and 11 learn these, and I make them write things out. But I want you to really understand the problem of not showing you working out. So two things are going to happen. Either you're going to show you working out and do really well, or you're not, and you're going to lose lots of marks. And we lose lots of marks. I had one student say to me, "Oh, well, I didn't mean that. It was just a silly mistake." Yes, it was a silly mistake. But in a test or exam, we don't care. Even in work, we don't care the silly mistakes. You get something wrong, you've got it wrong, end of, I don't care why. Now, that's a really grown-up conversation, and you're only year 9. So the formula, moles equals mass over mR. Okay? And I hope everyone kind of realizes that I'm going to write grams there. Okay? In chemistry, we're always working with grams. So moles equals mass over mR. So if I'm doing question 1, and I'm going to do question 1, and do you know, I've changed my mind. I'm going to make it up. So I know quite a lot of you have already done questions like this last week and the week before. Oh, exactly these. So moles equals mass over mR. So I'm going to turn around and say, aha, calculate the number of moles in 36 grams of water. Bear with me a second. No, I'm sure that wasn't digging ahead. Some 36 grams of water. Let me just make that bigger. Bear with me a second. That's easy. Okay, 36 grams of water. All right. So what happens here is I've already got the mass, and the first thing you do is check your units. Right? It has to be grams. Question. I'm going to be really cruel today. I'm actually going to, I don't know, should I leave these on? Shall I not? Okay. It is in grams. I'm happy it's in grams. Brilliant. So you then write out your formula. Moles equals mass over mR. I do suggest you write this out. Otherwise, you're going to get question 2 wrong. Moles equals mass over mR. We need a periodic table. And what we're going to do, I'm going to assume you are all AQA. All right. And the one thing again I will say is use your exam board's periodic table. You won't know what your exam board is. It's probably the most common exam boards are AQA and Edexcel, a little bit of OCR, but exam boards are all the same in terms of content and the layout of the periodic table. Now, water, and the formulas are on the sheet. So water is H2O. I want to work out the number of moles. Mass is 36. The MR, relative formula mass, is H2O. I'm going to go H plus H, there's 2 hydrogens, and 1 oxygen. 1 plus 1 plus 16. That gives me 18 moles, 36 divided by 18, moles equals 2. The one that I don't think anyone finished is this kind of calculation. And here you've got to be careful. Calculate the mass. I want mass. So the first thing you do is underline your keywords. I want mass. I've been given moles. If you've got mass and moles, this has to be, again, the same equation, the same formula. Moles equals mass in grams per mR. You now have got 2 choices. Your choices are twofold. Okay? Either, bear with me a second, someone's asking Caden, where did I get 18 from? All right, Caden. I got 18 from, hydrogen is 1. I know that from looking on the periodic table. There. Oxygen is 16. I got for that from the periodic table. There. put the numbers underneath the letters, add them all up. That's 18. Okay. Now, moles equals mass over mR. And now you've got two choices here. They've given you moles. So what you can do is either substitute the numbers in now. 4 equals mass. Well, that's what I'm trying to find. And I can work out the MR. Now, I think it's 28 off the top of my head, but we're going to check. I'm trying to find the mass for N2. This is nitrogen gas, N2. So I'm going to look at N. N is 14. I've got two of them. N add N. 14 add 14 from the periodic table. The big number at the top, the atomic mass, equals 28. Okay, do you know what? I'm going to just move that to the other side. So now that I've done that, I'm going to grab that over there. I've substituted 28 for MR. I already did it. I thought I'd see if I could remember what it was. So I want to find out mass. And there's lots of ways of doing this. Now, one of them is, well, this means divide by 8. And I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to times by 28. If I times this side by 28, I times that side by 28. And that will give me 56. So the mass of nitrogen is going to be 56 grams. Okay, use a calculator, always do a calculator, and just get used to it. The second way of doing this is by actually rearranging that formula here. And what I mean by that, by rearranging this, is if I write it down here, okay, I can actually rearrange it before I use it. I want to make mass the subject of my formula. And I'm going to show you both ways of doing this. It depends on how you've learned algebra. I want mass by itself, but it's not by itself. I've got divide by MR. So there's two things. Now, one is that I just said it. If this is divide by MR, I want to do the opposite. I want to get rid of it. So I times by MR. If I times by MR on this side, I must times by MR on that side. And this gives me mass equals moles times MR. Okay. The other way to do it, and the other way to think about it, is let me paste the formula in there again. I want it here. Paste there. So the other way to think about it is, and again, this depends on how you're taught algebra. This is divide by MR. I'm going to take it to the other side because I want mass by itself, and I flip it. I flip what it does. If it's a divide, it becomes a times. If it's a times, it becomes a divide. If it's a takeaway, it becomes an add. If it's an add, it becomes a minus. So I take it over there, it becomes times MR, moles. So it's moles times MR. Moles times MR. So that is everything you need to know for today. I haven't covered unit conversion. I haven't put it on. We've done all that. All right. And I'm very tempted to delete everything. I really am. Okay, right. I've just been tempted. I'm going to delete everything. The reason being, we've covered all of this. We have. All right. And yeah, why not? Why not? This is the last session. Let's think. All right. Doesn't matter if you get it wrong. Doesn't. Okay. And what I will do is, and the other thing is, it's all in retrieval practice, trying to remember what I did. And I'm going to convert that introduction I've just done, and I'm going to drop it on here. All right. So this is the last chemistry lesson before half term. And I want to really gel everything together before we break up and have, well, you guys will be having fun. I'm just going to make lots of copies. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to stop recording.